Tech by Tips.
Hello and welcome to another Tech by Tips video. Before I start this video, I want to shout out to Shelby Miller and Kevin Leininger for donations that were received in the channel. Thank you very much. I really appreciate when you donate to the channel. It really motivates me to continue creating good quality content for you. Now, today is gonna be a little bit of an emergency video. Someone messaged me like a few days ago, 3 days ago, and he said, hey man, would you teach us how to install the new version of Pi-hole version 6 on Synology? That would be amazing. That was by Tuga in Bristol. I did not know what he was talking about, and now I know what he's talking about because basically immediately after he sent me this message, my network started acting up and weird things were going on and I didn't know what was happening. And then I started checking stuff, and it turns out that big changes in Pi-hole occurred. And since I have Watchtower updating my containers, I got updated to version 6 without realizing it, and some things broke. So on this video, we're gonna satisfy his request, and we're gonna work on setting up the version 6 of Pi-hole in our Synology NAS. So let's get to that. So the first thing, if you go into the piehole.net website, there's a blog entry that was added about 3 or 4 days ago, and it basically says introducing Pi-hole v6, and it tells us that, you know, it's gonna be released, get ready, some things are gonna break, but it's gonna work even better, it's gonna be faster, and all of that. So they basically made some changes to the way Pi-hole works, where now they have an embedded web server and a REST API in Pi-hole version 6. So now they don't need light TTPD and PHP to run the application. So that is, you know, good because it reduces the footprint and makes the performance faster. And also allowed advanced filtering in and out lists in the new version. And they consolidated the configuration files and stuff. And they redesigned the user interface. I did notice that. It looks nice and it's very snappy. They added HTTPS support finally, so now you can get to the user interface with HTTPS if you want, which I recommend. And they even included IPv6 support to that also. And obviously the Docker image changed drastically. That's what happened to me. Now it's not based on the Debian operating system, it's based on Alpine, which is a very small operating system and a lot faster. So it's like they say, you know, the image is smaller and now they have a lot of opportunities to do more things. Now they basically made a bunch of changes. It wasn't that was just the announcement here, right? So then I went into the GitHub to check what went on, and I saw that version 6 was released about 3 days ago, exactly when I got that message and when my network started acting up. And they have so far released version 6.01 and 03, which is the latest one, and they're simply making changes, they're working on it, so that is good. And if we go in here into the documentation, we can see that they have an updated Docker Compose file, but I also noticed errors in this, so I went ahead and gave it a try and, you know, doing trial and error, figure out what's wrong. And now I'm going to give you the actual Docker Compose file that works, that I have tested, and I'm going to deploy it right here for you so that you can see it in action. Number one, let me just highlight. They're saying that you should expose port 80, but the container is not listening on 80. It's actually listening on 8080, and it's not listening 443. It's listening in 8443. So those are the two main errors that I found here. And if you notice, some of the environment variables changed. Now we cannot specify the port for the user interface because now it's going to use those that I just mentioned by default. So that also changed the way that I'm going to be deploying this, because I'm not going to be using the host network in this case. I'm just going to expose it now. And the capabilities that are needed for the container to work properly have changed. So now they say you need to give it a net administrator capability, and also the list is here of all the things that is needed for FTLDNS. And they added a few new ones. So for example, the NICE was not there before, the time was not there before, netadmin was not there before, and netbind service, I believe, was not there before. So those are changes that we need to do. So let's get to doing that now. We go into our NAS, we go into Container Manager, and we already had all the stuff that we needed because we deployed Pi-hole before. So we have that in here. But let me see, where's the project for that? I don't even know if I deployed that with a project. No, I think I deployed that directly here, and I don't even see it. I think I got rid of it. So let me check here. Yep, I got rid of the container Pi-hole here in the lab. So, all right, let's not worry about that. Let's then just create that project, and we already have the folder here, so that is good. So projects, let me see. Yes, I don't have Pi-hole, so create a project for Pi-hole. Perfect. Now we have our project where our Docker Compose file is going to reside, and we already have the location for our Pi-hole information, where we have the Pi-hole folder and the DNS mask D folder. So that is looking great. That's all that we need in the folder creation. So that's going to be great. Now we go into the projects. We're going to create that project. I'm going to name it Pi-hole. I'm going to pick that directory that I just created here. So Pi-hole there. I'm going to create a Docker Compose file. Let me paste the one that I know that works, and then we're going to make some changes to that later. But we need a bigger screen. So for now, next, don't, trigger, and done. And now we're going to see that here come up, and then we'll see it in a bigger screen, which is what we want. So where's Pi-hole? Here we go, Pi-hole, YAML configuration, and here we go. So now let's discuss what changed here. So we have the services. Pi-hole is the container that we're building, and we're using the latest image. So right now is 603, and I'm naming the container Pi-hole. Also, let me make a note. I forgot to add the reference guides for a lot of videos. So I am going to be uploading those into the GitHub repository for the Tech by Tips channel. So if you need those, give me a little bit of time. I'm working on that, but I've been honestly very busy with work and all that stuff. But they're gonna be there. So check always on the description of the videos, and there's gonna be a link there to that. On this one, I'm gonna make sure that I do it before the video is released, so it should be there. So you'll have the Docker Compose file already there. And now the capabilities, all the ones that we saw detailed in the Docker Compose notes, so are there. Then the ports, this is different. Before, if you remember, I was using the network mode host, so that's not going to be the case any longer, so we can get rid of that. But now we need to expose ports. So now we have the ports, and remember, the first one is on the NAS, the second one is on the container. And here we need a DNS port because this is our DNS server for our network. So we need to expose that. Now, if you want to use the HTTP user interface access, you'll use this version, which is port 8080. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use the SSL one, the HTTPS. So I'm going to have this one uncommented, which is 8443, which is the port that I was mentioning before. But again, I'm going to expose it on 8079 because that's the port that I had already defined for the Pi-hole in my case. So that's fine. Now, if you're going to use your Pi-hole as a DHCP server in your network, then you also need to use this port here. I have it commented out because that's not going to be my case, but just wanted to give it to you there so you know what to do with that. Again, environment variables, we put our time zone. In my case, American New York. We put the user ID or that we want the container to run as, and in my case is the first administrator of the Synology device, so that's 1026, and the group for that is 100. And now here's the other additional environment variables that are new. Now you need to specify if you want to set up the password for the web interface, then you set it up in here and you uncomment this out. If you don't specify it, it's going to dump it into the logs. It's going to generate random password, and that's what you're going to use. So in my case, let's just say I'm going to use password. So that's fine for my lab. And then let's make sure that we listen for any DNS request from anywhere. So that's the other additional environment variable that we have to set up. Now, the volumes, I need to fix this because on this machine it's different. So it's volume 1 in my case for Pi-hole here. And then in here it's going to be volume 1 docker configs. There we go. Pi-hole DNS mask. And now we have the right folders for those two places that the Pi-hole is going to use to store its data. And then if you want to set a limit on the resources that it consumes, you can put this here. I'm going to say don't use more than 1 gig of RAM. That's more than enough for me. So that's what I'm specifying there. And then restart the container. On this, I manually stop it. That's it. That's all we need. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I don't have let me just save for now, that I don't have the old image of Pi-hole. So let me check here in the images and search for Pi-hole. There is nothing there named Pi-hole, so that's great. That means that we don't have that problem. So now it's going to pull the latest version for real. So I'm going to go back into the project Pi-hole. Where is it? Here. And now I'm going to build it. So we're going to say action build. It's going to pull the new image, and it's going to create that container and start it up for us. I'm going to be back when that is done. Alright, I have received the exit code 0. I should be getting my notification here in a second. There we go. And we clear that. And now we go into the containers and we see Pi-hole. And we go into the logs. And let's monitor this and see what is happening. Since I had the folders from a previous version, it should do like an update on its own and stuff like that. So we shouldn't have to worry about that, I believe. So now we see B5 files detected that have not yet been migrated. That's what I was mentioning. So now it's migrating all that stuff. And this is interesting because on the lab, it is telling me that it's going to use port 80 and 443. And it's not going to use IPv6. But in my production one, it didn't do that. So let's just validate that in a bit. Alright, it's upgrading the database. Fine. It checked that it has all the capabilities that it needs. Perfect. And it's starting the Pi-hole. So let's see if it actually worked with the ports that I specified, or if it decided to pick 80 and 443. Maybe the image that I had was not 603, and that's why I was using those ports. And now it's 8443. So let's try that out. Let me go back into my NAS on port 8079. And yes, it looks like they did change the ports on the latest version of the image. So let's make that quick change here so that we can get access to the user interface of the Pi-hole. Let me just validate something here. I'm using HTTPS. Yes, it is not working. The connection was reset. So let's make that change. Okay, so let's do a stop on the project. Alright, so now we have stopped this. Before I go there, let me make a quick change here and show you what my production environment says, and so you can tell that I'm not crazy, right? In my production environment, it's using ports 8080 and 8443. It could be because I have an older version of the image. I need to check that, but that's why I was under that impression. So now let's go back and get this one working. Let's go into the YAML. Let me make a note here that the ports could be different, because your case could be one of those like mine. So as far as I know right now, I'm not sure what's the case. So let's put 443, let's put 80 here, and that should look better for us. So now I'm gonna use 443, so that'll be HTTPS, but I have put it in the comments so that you have all the possibilities here and we don't get confused with anything. So that is why. Okay, so now we can save this and we can build it again and see if that works now on the appropriate port. Alright, let's wait for the container to recreate and start. Alright, and I got an exit code 0 and the usual notification here, so we can now validate if this is working. Let's go into Pi-hole and monitor the logs again. Once we see that it is working, we can check if we can access it now. Alright, now it's saying 8443, looking good. It's still loading some stuff, but it looks like it's ready. So now we're gonna go into the IP of the NAS and we're gonna put the IP of the NAS, and then the port is gonna be 8079 because that's what I said I was gonna be using in the definition here. So that's how I'm gonna access it, even though it's using 443 in the container. And then /admin to get to the admin interface. When we do that, we get this message saying that the connection is not private because it's using a self-signed certificate. It says Pi-hole there. So that's why. You can ignore that by saying advance and proceed. And now here we should be getting our user interface for Pi-hole, which it is loading. A little slow this time, but it is loading. Here we go. And now we put the password that we specified. I said that it was going to be password in the definition of the Docker Compose. So that's what I'm going to put here. And I'm going to say login. And here we go. This is the new user interface. And as you can see, it's very snappy. I currently don't have anything connecting to this instance because this is the lab, but it should be working because I did exactly the same thing on my production one, the one that I use at home. And as you can see, the interface has changed. It's definitely a lot faster, and you have a lot of new features in here too, so you can give it a try, see where you can benefit from this. But yes, that's how you get the version 6 of Pi-hole in a Synology NAS working now. So that's gonna be it for this video. If you liked it, hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you like the content. That'll help us grow. That's definitely gonna make a good impact. So thank you very much if you hit that subscribe button. Leave comments in the comment section below, like the comment that was left for this video. I always try to make the videos based on things that you find interesting and you want me to cover. I especially prioritize donors of the channel, unless something like this happens that is kind of an emergency. So in that case, yes, I'll do that. And also remember, I'm not monetizing this channel. It is on purpose, so you should have not received an ad on my video, but that also means that I'm not making any money. So I rely entirely on the support of you, people like the people that I shouted out in the beginning of the video. So if you find the content useful and you want me to continue focusing on the channel and creating good content for you, feel free to donate using the link in the description below, or you also have a Bitcoin wallet address that you can use if you prefer to donate that way. And yeah, that's gonna be it for this one. I hope you liked it. I'll see you in the next one.